I can't move my foot from this spot for the next 52 hours, and here's why. In 1991, an American sniper stepped on a landmine and realized if he took his foot off within the next 52 hours, he would die. So if I take my foot off within the next 52 hours, not only will I fail, but I'm gonna get shot with this airsoft gun. But before I started, this challenge is harder than you think for a couple of reasons, and I needed to prepare. I did a bit of research, and I discovered that this challenge was gonna be a lot harder than just not being able to move my foot. You see, Mike Stevens was doing a mission when he accidentally stepped on this landmine, which meant he didn't have any food with him, and he only had one glass of water, which meant when I was preparing for this challenge, I was gonna be under the same conditions. So I was prepared for all of this, but there was one thing that I didn't account for. And you'll see very quickly that that one thing had a much bigger effect on this challenge than I could have imagined. Despite this, I grabbed my one glass of water and prepared to start. 52 hours is a long time. To put it into perspective, after as little as 24 hours without sleep, you could start to hallucinate. Some people train for years to sit in the same spot for 24 hours. Today I was gonna try for over double that with no training, but almost immediately something happened.
Alright Tyler, we're almost 10 minutes in. How you feeling?
It's already really cold, and it's not even nighttime.
It's probably gonna get a whole lot worse, man.
At this point, I had no idea what was in store for me. Up in Canada, during the early days of December, it got really cold, and I knew the nights got much colder. You may have heard that the average person can go 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, but only 3 hours without shelter. I still had 51 hours to go, but you're probably wondering how cold it is.
Alright Tyler, it's been about an hour now. How you feeling?
It's actually really cold. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the warmest that it gets, but this is colder than the coldest part when I stood in a circle for 24 hours. But the sniper had a few of his own problems. He had just watched his friend and teammate step on a landmine, and while I was just stuck with the weather, he was stuck in the wild.
Alright Tyler, how you feeling?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm in over my head, bro. I can't even feel my feet anymore.
Can I see your hands? Dang, they're looking pretty white.
Yeah.
Can you feel them?
I could feel them. But things started to quickly get worse. It kept getting colder and darker, and by the 3-hour mark, I was officially out of water. At this point, I wanted to give up, but then I thought about why I was doing this in the first place. Not only do I want to prove that you could do anything that you set your mind to, but I want to inspire you with the best videos possible, which is why this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, which you can download using my links in the description. At this point, I actually used it to help me get through the challenge. And what I really liked about this was the story. I was feeling miserable, but despite this, I got sucked into the narrative pretty quickly and lost track of time. There's now over 600 champions, which all have their unique story. And they're also introducing a huge new boss called the Hydra, which is now going to be one of the toughest bosses in the game. It has a bunch of heads, which each do something different, but it's also its weak point. And they're also giving you a limited edition champion made after the esports legend Simple, which is available for free to both new and old players in Raid. All you have to do is log in for 7 days between now and January 28th. And if you miss it, it's gone forever. I'm gonna be able to see my breath soon. Curious to see what my feet look like because I still can't feel them. And on top of all that, it's the holidays, so Raid's got a whole bunch of festive activities and special events planned. And there's seriously never been a better time to get started. So if you hit the link in my description or scan the QR code, you'll get an epic champion, 200,000 silver, an energy refill and XP boost, and an ancient shard so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here.
Alright Tyler, we're at the 4-hour mark. How you feeling?
My toes used to be completely numb. They're still completely numb, but now my whole foot is completely numb. Also, I'm starting to feel a whole bunch of neck pain, back pain, just from, I guess, standing in this crouched. Now this is where things start to get interesting. By this point, I'd been shivering non-stop for the past 3 hours. I was determined to go for as long as possible. But despite the weather conditions and the toughness of the challenge, it was someone else's job to make this as hard as possible. So as you're about to see, this was not going to get any easier. I had to be prepared for anything. I'm so cold. Can you bring me a jacket?
Okay, man, I'll go get it.
And this is when the first trick came into play.
Alright, somewhere in here. Oh, here we go. Here it is, sir.
That's not a jacket.
it'll keep you a bit warmer, probably.
Rather than getting a jacket, I got a weighted vest that I had to wear for the rest of the challenge. Did it keep me warmer? Absolutely not. And by this point, my hands were so cold, I struggled to put it on. I could barely grip onto anything, and my feet were still completely numb. It actually started to get so cold that there was a real problem I had to look out for. It was freezing outside, and if my core body temperature dropped enough, I could get hypothermia. You need to tell me some hypothermia symptoms.
Okay, what are the signs and symptoms of hypothermia? Shivering.
Yeah.
Exhaustion.
I don't think so.
Confusion.
I don't think so.
Fumbling hands. But I don't know what fumbling hands means.
Fumbling hands?
Like dropping stuff? I think you're probably fine. Memory loss.
I think we're okay.
Slurred speech.
Am I slurring my speech?
Nah, It's just like when you're cold and you wake.
Yeah, my face is frozen.
Drowsiness.
I think I'm okay.
6 hours in, and it was looking like I was still gonna be okay. However, it was definitely something to keep an eye out for.
I'm actually really curious to see what walking feels like after this.
But despite all my problems, the original sniper had something terrifying coming his way. It was now nighttime in the middle of the wild, and while not being able to move, he became surrounded by wolves. I didn't want to put myself in extreme danger, but I had no idea I had something else coming for me.
Okay, Tyler wants me to make this challenge as difficult as possible for him, so I'm gonna try and scare him.
My friend Robin had a plan to get me to step off the mine. Here you can see he's creeping up behind me, and he's doing it so slowly I had no idea. And if you look really closely, you'll notice you can't even see the camera in the window.
It didn't scare you. Well, it didn't work, guys.
However, not long after, something happened.
Alright guys, I have some unfortunate news. My feet, they're getting almost like this second wave of numbness, and I think that's bad. So I think I'm gonna have to call it and go inside. It does mean I'm gonna get shot with an airsoft gun.
I only lasted for longer than 7 hours, but without moving my foot in the freezing cold.
Alright.
Oh, I can't feel my feet, yeah.
I wanted to see what my feet looked like.
It's hard to grab. This is where I start to feel like that second numbness. Can't feel stuff. It's weird.
Because I failed the challenge, I had to get shot with this airsoft gun. It's not real, but it still kind of hurts. But I won't give up, and I will beat the next challenge. And before I show you what my back looks like, I want to say thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this, because I have something huge planned for the future.